Welcome back to Game On. It's time now to switch over to Germany. Have a look at what's going on there. And as we've confirmed, of course, in the weeks past, the two top sides here, Munich, we take our hats off to them for being crowned champions. Leverkusen for trying to push them all the way through to the end. We take our hats off as well. But the three sides that are in the fight for the European spots are Frankfurt, Dortmund, and Freiburg. Shane McGregor is back, and well, it made for some interesting reading, the results, and interesting viewing as well when you consider Dortmund under pressure. Also one of the South clubs that's looking forward to the Club World Cup in a few weeks' time. They, of course, hosted Kiel, I should say, walked away 3-0 winners in that match.
Yeah, big win for them. They needed to get the results. You know, they've come right at the right time of the season, right at the end. You know, they were struggling along, not going nowhere, and all of a sudden a good couple of wins and they moved up the table. So it was a big win for them, much needed. Now keeping themselves in that hunt.
When you say come right at the right time of the season, last 5 games, all of them 5 wins. I mean, that's terribly impressive. Under pressure as well, yeah.
As I said, you come right at the right time of the season, you know. Got the momentum going and winning games, and that's what it was needed then. And, you know, take my hats off to them, because that's no mean feat to win 5 in a row.
And then the other big game to look forward to was Freiburg against Frankfurt, and this was as good as the final we said last week. Reason being, they're also in the fight, so one is almost eliminating the other. The scoreline at the end of it all, 3-1 in favour of Frankfurt, away from home. What a result. Great what a game result. As well, 4 goals. 4 goals,
but that's what we expect in Germany. We're always expecting goals. But yeah, Frankfurt, what a job. I mean, what a game to go and win, especially away from home. Got the job done, and just shows you big match temperament and what you can do when you put your mind to it. But they've also been on a bit of a run, so yeah, they've done well. I mean, one of the surprises of the season, well, I think the surprise of the season. So yeah, good luck to them.
It hasn't been easy for them in recent times. They needed the win now, considering it was their first win in 3 games, but hadn't lost in their last 5. 3 draws and a couple of wins. It hasn't been easy, but able to stay in the fight, yeah?
But that's been the problem, is the draws. You can't be drawing so many games. I mean, if you look at it, that's 6 points gone, you know, dropped. So, end of the day, they needed the win, and got the bottle there and went and got the job done.
One's heart bleeds for Mainz. Yeah. And the season they've had, it just became tough over the last couple of months, but now on 52 points, 3 behind Freiburg on 55. Towards the end, it just got a bit too tough to keep the consistency going for them, yeah?
Yeah, I think it's, you know, we go back to what I said a while ago, you know, squad size and quality size. You know, when you got to play a long season like that and keep it going, you get 1 or 2 injuries, you get tired legs. You can't really make the changes because you don't have the big squad, you know. So you got to bring in youngsters, and that's caught them out, unfortunately, that they couldn't just keep it going. It's a lesson to be learned, though.
There will be other names that will pop out at you here and that didn't make the top 4 or top 5 fight and so on. Leipzig, 7th. Bremen, 8th. Stuttgart, 9th. What does it say about the efforts of sides such as Freiburg and Mainz to have finish higher than them?
It just shows you how strong that league is. You know, it's similar to the English league. It's very competitive, and on any given day, any side can win, you know, and win against you. But Leipzig have been the big disappointment the whole season. You know, they've got a big sponsor, so they'll be hoping to bounce back next year. You never know what's going to happen there. You know, once again, I always go back to, once you sell your top players all the time, it's going to catch up with you sooner or later. And now it's caught up with them. They need to look at that model, and I know they've got to sell players to keep going, but they've got to look at it and say, hang on a minute, we've got to hold on to some players so we can get fighting again.
I was looking at some of the speculation at players that may be moving in the off-season now, and lo and behold, some of the players in the current squad look like they'll be moving on as well, so trouble for next season.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, you know, you got to be looking at it, and it catches up with you all the time, so...
So that's our look at what's happening in Germany. Thank you very much to Shane. But time and time again, we remind you what Hollywood Bet is doing, for not just for football, but for sports and development here in South Africa. We're giving back to the community once again, as they were out at the Fosterus Stadium in Ekurhuleni, I should say, for the club sponsorship handover to Silver Spears Ladies Football Club. Let's find out more about that, Shane.
My name is Dumsani Ntombela. I'm a founder of Silver Spears Football Club. I have a lot of passion for the women's game, and today is a special day with Hollywood Bet.
Dumsani Ntombela, an inspirational figure who who, despite his own disability, continues to make a massive impact in the community of Vosloorus. Having founded Silver Spears Football Club, he has managed to make his mark in women's football in Gauteng.
I started this football club because of passion and the love of the football that I have, because I didn't been born blind, but I was attacked by cancer at the age of 1 year old, and then I started to have love of football the time I was living with a disability, starting to live with the disability of being blind. You know, I get a strength from the mighty God, because He's the one who gave me this talent. He's the one who gave me this position. And I also motivate myself to say, what I am doing, I'm not doing for me. I've been sent by the mighty God.
In our society, women go through so many challenges, and it's for that very reason Dumsani founded Silver Spears.
It's because things that are happening, they don't get opportunity to expose their talent and to take them away from drug abuse and crime and teenage pregnancy. And we say no to GBV.
Dumsani was elated to get support from Hollywood Bets and praised their efforts in making a difference in our country.
I've been trying, knocking all the doors to find some help, but today the mighty God answer my prayers to get an equipment so we can be able to develop many women's football players. I say to Hollywood Bet, they must keep on supporting each and every sport in our country, because at our rural areas, we doesn't get any type of sponsorship and any equipment that can produce professional players. Thank you very much to Hollywood Bet. We highly appreciate Silver Spears, and we promise we'll keep on creating many players for professional level, and they won't regret themselves with this equipment that they donate for us.
Once again, we are so grateful to Hollywood Best for all they do in supporting the South African sports scene, not just the football fields here. And nice to see what happened out with Silver Spears Ladies Football Club. May their success be long-lasting going into the future. So let's take the time to thank our legends in Joris Kosana as well as Shane McGregor. We, of course, would like to thank you at home for taking the time to join us for yet another exciting episode of Game On. From myself, Sizu Mapena, and the rest of the team that is behind the scenes, we appreciate you. Appreciate every Saturday that you do give to us. Until next week, it's click, click, bang.